What they're for.
Taser, taser, taser.
Turn around.
Tase me if you want to.
Turn around. Put your
Tase
hands
me
behind
if you want to.
Turn around.
Get out of my house.
Turn around. Put your hands behind your back.
Get out of my house.
Put your hands behind your back.
You're going to get tasered.
No.
Today's video takes us to Moore, Oklahoma. Now, most breakdowns, we usually define what is lawful and what is not. But we're here to dig a little deeper than that, to invoke thought and create a conversation. I'm Sean Tyree. Welcome to Vast Life.
You don't live here, right?
Huh? Well, I haven't lived here for a while.
All right. Well, unfortunately, you have warrants for your arrest. I need you to turn around, put your hands behind your back.
For what? What are my warrants for?
Turn around. They're for local warrants.
No,
turn
I don't
around.
have any warrants. I want you to tell me what they're for.
Turn around and put your hands
Tell
behind
me
your back.
what they're for.
Taser, taser, taser.
Turn around.
Tase me if you want to.
Turn around. Put your
Tase
hands
me if
behind
you want to.
Turn around.
Get out of my house.
Turn around.
So if you've seen that, he was going hands-on with the burglary suspect right there. And then his partner just said, taser, taser, taser. So he's letting his partner know, hey, I'm about to deploy this less lethal. So what you see there, the green and the red, those are the locations where the prongs are going to go. And he's a little off center, but normally when we say splitting the belt line, so most officers, when they deploy the taser, they're going to have to split the belt line, meaning it's going to be one in the abdomen and one in the quad. That's what's going to cause an NMI, which is a neuromuscular incapacitation. What you normally see the body lock up. When you see the people when they lock up and they fall down, that's what causes that. But you have to have that cross current. So it has to be a nice split between the two. And there are areas where you can't deploy the taser. So, all right. So they have, which is the caution line, normally the chest, and right there in the chest area, mainly because you don't know if someone has a pacemaker and you are deploying some form of electrical current. And the red line area, which is the face, neck, eyes, along that line, that is a no-no. Now, most tasers, they're most effective when you deploy them and they hit in the back. All right. And the reason being, the back, you're running away or they turn away. Perfect time to use a taser, for the simple reason that your back is more exposed, and the more muscular you are, strong, big muscular guys that you see, lifting, perfect for the taser, because the more muscle you have, the more muscle mass you have, the more effective the taser is.
Put your hands behind your back.
Get out of my house.
Put your hands behind your back.
You're going to get tasered.
No.
So if you've seen that, the taser was ineffective. You see the officer immediately close the distance and start going hands-on because the taser was ineffective, right? You don't want to have a tool in your hand. The person was already starting to fight. You see him fighting off the wires. The other officer right there, this is where people are too focused or too tool heavy because they rely on the taser too much. There's no way this taser should have been in his hand. He had his taser in his hand. You see, he started fumbling around. He started getting anxious because his partner's fighting. That taser shouldn't even been out right there. That should have been a good 2-on-1 situation at that point.
You're gonna kill me.
5-1, step it up. We need backup.
See that? Even the second taser that the partner had, which he shouldn't have deployed. If I was his partner, I'd be pissed. All right. There's no way when I'm fighting with this dude, you're going to deploy your taser, because you could have missed, you could have hit me. And next thing you know, you're locking my body up. And when you're supposed to be trying to get the suspect, this is too reliant on the tools. Go in, drop the tool, drop the taser, keep the taser holstered, go in and attack this person with your partner. There's no way that this taser should be in his hand still. He's pointing it because he's too focused. He's too focused. But we will back that up.
You're gonna kill me.
5-1, step it up. We need backup.
Now that was nice. Big suplex. That's what you call a partner that's ready to get down and dirty. All right. Up you go, down you go. in custody, as you can see right there. So in my first video, I referenced the taser, where the officer tried to use the taser, was ineffective. That's the reason why Axon is getting away from the Taser 7s and going to the Taser 10s, for that very reason right there. Now, most agencies around the country are still using the Taser 7. If you're one of those agencies and you're happening to listen to this video, you have to transition. The Taser 7 has about over a 60% success rate, at lowest 40%. So that's the reason why Axon is straying away from the Taser 7, because they listen to the other agencies around the country who've had what you just saw in this video, non-successful rate of deployment. Taser 10, very effective. You actually have pinpoint accuracy where you get to place the prongs where you need them to go. Unlike the Taser 7, they don't have an automatic spread. So this is the reason why, if you're too tool heavy and it's ineffective, what do you do? That situation should have been immediately 2-on-1, especially after the first deployment was ineffective. Always best to go, these are your best tools, only if you know what you're doing. So be sure to train outside of work. Another thing, for the use of force, all right, this was in Moore, Oklahoma. Other cities and different states, right, the use of force is different. I say that because that suplex that he did, although it looked great and it was fancy and it was really effective, right? But if he would have cracked his head on the ground, different states, that could change the use of force for the law enforcement officer. That could be considered deadly force. And then they'll look at your training. Were you trained that during defensive tactics to lift somebody up and suplex them like that? This is where the law plays a part. So you have to be mindful of that situation. Now, if he had a knife in his hand, by all means, going for a weapon or trying to snatch the taser or anything like that, most cases that's justifiable. But say if it's not and he's empty-handed and then you suplex him like that and he, like I said, and it causes a death experience, you're on the line for that. They're going to look at your training records. Were you taught that? And if your agency's not going to back you, you might be hung out to dry. That being said, if you're law enforcement of present, law enforcement of old, or even the general public, if you learned something from this video, drop a like and a comment below. And like always, Jesus is the light of the way.